Yo, 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 yo. What's up, everybody? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How's everybody doing tonight? Today, coming out this victory against the Packers, man. So we in here feeling good on Victory Monday. My name is Toddy. Also got my guy Larry from the Dixon Way in the
What's
building.
going
How
on?
is everybody feeling today, man? How's it going?
Let's go. It's good. What's going on, man? It's good to talk about the Falcons at the victory, bro. For real, for
In
real.
it,
Oh
in
yeah,
it, bro.
definitely. And I saw us on ESPN. They were talking about us today, bro.
Not the birds.
Bruh, they were talking about us. I'm like, hold up. Did Rex Ryan say that Arthur Smith was his second favorite coach in the league?
Mm.
And we run a style of offense that he would love to coach defense behind? Like, hold up. They talking about us, bro.
Hey,
Okay.
the tides are turning, Larry. The tides are
Mhm.
turning.
Mhm.
Before we get started, Larry, I mean, let everybody know where they can find you at on YouTube because you do some outstanding Georgia sports content. Braves, Falcons, Bulldogs, some Atlanta Dream, the whole nine. So let them know where they can find you at on YouTube real quick, and then we'll get to the business.
Well, I appreciate you letting me get on here. Bleacher Report title. That's what you need to have in your title right there. BR tidy. But yeah, man, me and my wife started last year broadcasting and commentating the Falcons games. And then that grew from doing the Falcons, then the Hawks came up. So we might as well do that too. I'm gonna watch them anyway. So we do that and then fell into baseball season going right along. So man, guys, if you want some good commentary and getting tired of people on the radio, on the TV that's biased against the Falcons, you turn down the TV and turn us up, man. And that's what we do. We interact with the chat and stuff like that. You can tell them, you know what I'm saying, how we do, especially doing
Yes.
baseball and stuff like that. So yeah, uh, that's kind of what we're doing. We're trying to grow this community of fans. Like everybody sitting in the same house watching it together, man. That's it. Just like you do the community threads for the game, it's just video format. You know what I'm saying? Just like that on ABG. So yeah.
Yeah, I love it, man. Drop the beers in the comment. Drop the chairs in the comment.
Oh yeah, man. Thank you everybody for thank you for having me on here and thank everybody for watching. We will have to get it popping. Let's go.
Let's get it, man. Let's get it. Let's get it. As y'all come in, make sure to hit the like button. Also, man, subscribe and
Please.
share to the channel. One thing we want to do is we want to do our player grades for this week. Of course, the Falcons beat the Packers yesterday, a score 25-24. So what we want to do is we want to quickly just go through a few players and also our coaching and give them some grades. So everybody that's watching, make sure to drop your grade in the comment. We're going to use a school grading scale, A plus to F. So
Okay.
however you feel, whatever player did, make sure to drop the grade in the comment. And Larry, let's start on defense, man. Let's start with Caden Ellis,
Hey,
who
Nellis.
yeah, we acquired him through free agency, right?
Yes, we did.
All right,
Former
so
linebacker of the Saints. Knows
for
the
who?
system. That's of the Saint of the
Ooh,
Aints. Excuse me,
okay.
my bad. Aints. I said it wrong. Uh knows the system that Ryan Nielsen's gonna run. So that's why you brought him in. Uh and if I'm wrong, then I know Berto will correct me. But I'm pretty sure he came from the Aints.
Yeah, he definitely did. So
Yeah.
real quickly with his stats, man, he had a total of 6 tackles yesterday. All
Mhm.
tackles were solo tackles.
Okay.
He had 1 sack. He
Yeah.
also had 1 tackle for loss and 1 quarterback hit. I will add that he did lead us defensively in tackles yesterday, and I'll give you all those
Yeah.
numbers once again. 1 quarterback hit, 1 tackle for loss, 1 sack, 6 solo tackles, and 6 tackles total. So everybody that's watching, make sure to drop your grade in the comments. We're gonna go through those. And before we start, Larry, let's go through the chat real quick. We got our guy Mark in the building. What's happening with you, Mark? How
What
you
up,
doing,
Mark?
bro?
What up,
Mark
bro?
in the building.
Salute.
We also got Berto. What's up, Berto? How you doing, brother? Checking in from 95 North Falcons Talk Show. Y'all make sure to show Berto some love. Also on YouTube,
Yes, sir.
does fantastic Atlanta Falcons content, man. So make sure to click
Mhm.
on his profile, run up the comments, run up the subs, run up the likes. Berto says, I'll put it like this. I told my coworkers today, if your team ain't 2-0, what's there to talk about? Energy is up, LFG.
Let's go, man. Talk your talk, Berto.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Travis in here also. What's up with you, Travis? How you doing today, brother?
What up, Trav?
We got Marina checking in, waking up 2-0 is a great feeling. I can't wait to feel 3-0. I know that's right. Me and you both.
Right.
Me and you both. Also, see here. So what we'll do, we got also John Harris checking in. So 95 North Falcons Talk Show. What's up? David Starks in the building. What's up, David? How you been doing, brother?
What up, David?
They will come.
We at the stream tonight. Braves. Yep. Hopefully they get it done. All right, let's go. Sorry, my bad. I ain't
you good. What time the game is tonight?
It's 7:30, man. We got swept by the Marlins, man. I'm kind of heated about that. But we talking about the Falcons right now. I'm gonna talk about that on my stream. But go ahead, my bad.
I'll definitely be in there this evening too.
Yes, sir.
We got our boy Winston Thornton in the building. Says, what's going on, fellas in chat? Smash the like button. Yes, please smash that like button. Rusty Moore Jr. in the building says, I hate that I let a professional football team dictate my mood. But I'm just such a happier person when my Birds win. Ain't that the truth?
That's what's up, Rusty. I see you.
Ain't that the truth? Torian Brown checking in says, what's up, Ty and Larry? What's going on with you, bro?
What up, Torian? How you doing, bro? Appreciate you coming through. Enjoy this comment. Make sure you smash that like button, man. Everybody up in here, man.
All right, so we got David Starks in here. Says a B- for Caden Ellis. A lot better filling the gaps yesterday. So I can dig that. Rusty Moore says a B for Caden Ellis. I can dig that also as well. I got my boy Brandon Lytle in here. What's up, Brandon? How you doing, bro? Says I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm just here to support my boy Ty in this venture. Appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Definitely appreciate that. 95 North Falcons says A for Caden. So he gives him an A. Great blitzer, tackled very well yesterday. Gap assignment was on point. So I can definitely dig it, man. Definitely dig that. John Harris says we were cheated on that Hollis catch. See NFL Rule 8, Section 1, Article 3. And look at the 2008 Super Bowl catch by Santonio Holmes. What you thought about that catch, Larry?
Bro, I thought that was a two-part catch. I think that was bogus. I think it was a catch. Now they're saying that in the rule book that they found, saying that if your back is to the out of bounds, then you have to control it without letting your heels hit down. But as we all know, if you're stretching out and you're running full speed, and I said this on the stream also, if he would have fell back and just fell back with both feet out of bounds, then they would have had to call it as a touchdown. Or if he would have went like this and turned around to it. But it still shouldn't matter because he didn't bobble the ball when it was up there. I can see if he bobbled the ball a little bit and then he got it secure as he was, trying to plant his toes. But he caught that thing and came down with it with no bobble. That should be a touchdown. They need to revisit that. Because if you go in that full stride and you plant that one leg and then drag that other toe and they go out of bounds, that's still a touchdown. So they need to revisit that rule, like seriously. And just like John Harris said, look at Santonio Holmes in the corner of that end zone, toes up, got it, fall backwards. Did his feet hit the line, but it don't matter because he established with his toes. So that should have been the same thing, man. He was robbed.
Yeah, I agree with you. And what confused me and had me, pissed off yesterday is like the call on the field was a touchdown, and I guess of course I'm a little biased, but I didn't see any conclusive evidence to overturn the call. So it was wild, man. Nonetheless, we won the game.
Yeah, call from New York who misinterpreted, and they were frozen on when his heel hit down. What they should have did is look where he high pointed the ball and came straight down with no bobble and both toes hit in bounds. If he would have did that and just fell backwards, they would have called it a touchdown. If he would have did that and turned around and then his other foot would have went out, they would have called that a touchdown. The only reason they didn't call it a touchdown is because he caught it straight up and down, came down, and his heel hit like a fraction of the line, which I think that's a two-part catch instead of a one-part catch. And the way the refs in New York interpreted, it was one-part catch. I don't think that was fair. So
yeah, it's weird and also a little bit confusing. I know it's confusing for me.
Yeah, they need to revisit that. It happened to Julio before too. So it's not uncommon with the Falcons, but I find it funny that it happened to the Falcons twice within 10 years. So that's kind of, yeah. For those who believe in scripts and stuff like that. But anyway.
The script writers.
Yeah.
And we also got Travis checking in. Travis says he gives Caden an A. A for Caden, good all-around game. I agree with that. Winston gives him a B. Matty T checking in said, what's up? John Harris says, no. The rules do not say that. And what do you mean when you say the rules don't say that, John?
They don't say that, John?
Yeah, tell us exactly what you mean when you say that, John. 95 Norberto says 10 toes down, fellas. That was a TD. I think that was
okay, so it was a misinterpretation then. John is saying it was a misinterpretation of the rule.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm with it, John. Get him. All I heard on other broadcasts, I looked at other channels and stuff like that who were talking about it, and they felt like we were robbed too. I looked at Tom Grassi, and he was like, yeah, I felt like the Falcons was robbed. And he's a Packer fan. You know what I'm saying? A huge streamer. And he was like, I felt like the Falcons were robbed, but I went back and he said he, got directed by it and saw what rule they were. I haven't seen the actual rule yet. So until I see the rule, like straight up, I might go look it up after this stream, before the Braves stream. I'm still thinking it was the catch and the touchdown. We should have won that going away, to be honest.
Right. Yeah, we should have. We got going the midway through the third quarter, and then we really got going and gained the momentum also.
Yeah, for real.
And Rusty says, how about Mac Hollis trolling Savage on IG? I seen that. I did see that. David Starr says his heels never hit. John Harris says the rule says in part B, if there is any part of the body that touched inbounds, makes it a catch. So his toes were in there. So
yeah,
maybe they'll come back and apologize to us tomorrow morning. You know how
they always do that. They always do that when they flub up, flubber.
And the good thing about it, we won the game, so it ain't one of them things where we sent up here upset about it because we didn't lose. I mean, we did not win the game.
What up, Wallace? How you doing, man? Appreciate you tuning into the stream. Make sure you hit that like button, shawty.
Please do. Wallace checking in. Shaka Zulu says, guess there's no more toe drag.
Exactly, bro.
Apparently not. Winston said, it's not a catch. Here we go. If your whole foot comes down, then the whole has to be in bounds. If you're on your toes, then any part of your body can hit out of bounds afterwards outside of your foot, and it's good. So Winston said it's not a catch.
It was on his toes first. He went toes and then heel. He didn't go flat-footed and then try to pick up his toe. See what I'm saying? That's where it's getting lost in translation. Excuse me. He went toes first and then his heel came down. If he went flat-footed and tried to lift up his toes, then I understand what they're saying. But literally, he came down with the ball in full possession on his toes first, and then one of his heels went down, not both. So he probably looked down, he caught it, looked down, and saw both of his toes. He got the toes, he relaxed his foot. That's touchdown, bro. I don't know, man.
Yeah, we're going to have to dig deep into that.
Yeah, it looked like a two-parter to me. Yeah, it really did.
We definitely need some clarification on that also. Wilt checking in from YouTube says, it was nice not freaking out about Green Bay having the ball last possession for once. Very, very true. Very true.
Defense stood up.
Stood up big time when we needed in the second half. Bro.
All fourth quarter. When have the Falcons stood up in the fourth quarter like that? Offensively and defensively. Down 12. Foes in the chat. We know it is. It's barbecue and mildew time. And we answer the call. We answer the bell.
And answered it big time too, man. Yeah. Big time. Because in the past, Larry, those are games that we typically would have lost, man.
Yeah. Yep. Especially after we felt like we got cheated on the touchdown too. We down on ourselves. We only scored, you know what I'm saying? And then they up 12 points. They had a great third quarter. Looked like they were pulling away. Yeah, that's a game we would have, pumped the ball on, but we didn't, man. Resilience.
Yep.
So I like that.
and that shows, these are some brand new Falcons. These are maybe not our daddy's Falcons, Larry.
They ain't my Falcons. They little Larry's Falcons. You feel me? That's fine. That's fine.
Let's see. We got False Start checking in. Says Mr. T and Chad, how's it going? What's up, False Start? How you doing today, bro?
What's going on,
how's it
False
going?
Star? How you doing, man?
Dixon Way, so y'all know what to do. Smash that like, jump in the chat and say what's up. Share the stream to your socials and subscribe. Shonda, how you doing today?
Yep,
Appreciate you checking us out.
That's my wife, the beautiful Shonda. You see a short on the Dixon Way, she made it. Graphic, she made it. So yeah, ain't no Dixon Way without her. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a mouth that talk too much. So I get on here most of the time, but then she get on here when the Falcon games and stuff like that. So, and when she can. So yeah, shout out to my wife. As always.
Yeah, y'all do an excellent job, man. Excellent job. I will be there tonight, rallying on the Braves as well. And let's see also here. See if we got any other grades that came through real quick. Let's see. Pasta Girl checking in. So Pasta Girl says they should have called a flag on a late hit on Ritter.
Yeah. Yeah, they did when he went out of bounds and he hit him and his foot was in the white and he hit it. And the ref just look at him like, get up. Like, stop, man. Great comment, Pasta Girl. Had me heated during the game. Like, stop playing with me, man. Letting them. All right, whatever. Go ahead. Next one.
All right, so we're gonna go to we're gonna move on to offense real quick, y'all.
We didn't give our grade though.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead and get your grade, Larry.
I will say the improvement from game one, which I gave him probably a D or F. I'm gonna average it out. I'll give him a B plus. He was much more active. He led us in tackles. He got to the quarterback, and in that fourth quarter, he was key to getting his nose in there to stop it. Also, he had some pretty good coverage, you know what I'm saying, on the tight end. Yeah. So I say B plus. I ain't giving him no A yet. I need to see him dominate. So, but B plus is good. That's a good grade.
That's a very good grade.
You can bring that home.
Yeah. And I'm going to echo your sentiment also. I'm going to go with the B plus also. I think he did a great job being around the ball. I think he showed a lot of leadership on defense yesterday, especially being that's only his second game as a Falcon. I seen him calling out the defense and make sure guys were lined up in the right place. He was active. We seen that in the short stint that he played in preseason also the game one. So, Larry, I'm going B plus with you also. I'm going to say a B plus on that as well.
Stamp it. Boom.
Stamp it. All right, and before we finish our grades, Larry, we got a special guest backstage that's gonna come on here and rap with us.
All right.
Also, so we got a very, very, very special guest that we're gonna bring on here. We're gonna introduce to the ABG show, Mr. Brice Lewis from Fox 5. Welcome to the show, sir. How's it going?
Hey, man, I'm good, man. How are y'all doing today?
What's going on, brother? How you doing, man? Nice to meet you.
Hey, man, nice to meet you too, man. I am good, man. Excited after a win yesterday.
Oh yeah,
right,
excellent.
right. We all excited, starting out 2-0, undefeated. And what we're doing here, real quick, Brice, you might have heard backstage. We're going through and we're getting a few players some grades. We're using the school grading system, A plus to an F. We did Caden Ellis. And I know you know the Falcons from top to bottom. So I know you know the stats and how he played. I know you watched the game. What grade would you give Caden Ellis for yesterday?
Caden, I give him a B. I think he did what we brought him in to do for the most part. I mean, he's kind of in a hybrid role. They use him as a linebacker, use him as a pass rusher, depending on the down. But I mean, for the most part, I think he's done a pretty good job. I know week one, some people weren't the happiest with his performance, but I think he came back in week two, getting more comfortable with the system. I think Ryan Nielsen is learning how to use him to his full potential even more too, even though he worked with him in New Orleans. And I'm pretty happy about him, especially since he had to step up with Troy Anderson out yesterday.
Yeah.
So I go B.
Yeah. So we pretty much all in agreement. B plus and B. So I think we all agree that he did a very fine job yesterday. And we need to see better play out of our linebackers also. So I was very pleased on that as well. So y'all, let's jump to offense real quick. Let's go to our quarterback, Desmond Ridder, who had a lot of mixed reviews, gentlemen, after week one. You had a lot of guys on the fence with Desmond Ritter. There was a segment of the fan base that's saying, he's not the guy. He ain't the guy. He really can't throw the ball. He's really a backup quarterback masquerading as a starting quarterback. And then you had the other side of the fan base that's saying, y'all chill out. Y'all being too hard on the guy. This is only his fifth start. Give the guy some time. Be patient. So overall, week 2 yesterday, I think he played better. Here's his stat line. He was 19 for 32 passing the ball, 237 passing yards. He did average 7.4 yards per pass, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. His QBR was 72.4 with a 79.8 rating. And also, he did run the ball fairly well for us as well. He had 39 yards on 10 carries, 1 touchdown. So for people that's watching, I'll give y'all those numbers real quickly once again. 10 carries for 39 yards. He threw the ball 19 completions out of 32 attempts, 237 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. So Brice, we'll start with you, and everybody in the chat. Make sure you drop your grades also. Brice, what grade would you give your starting quarterback for yesterday, sir?
I'd actually also give Ritter a B, and the reason why is because, like people said, I mean, he's still growing, he's still learning. He's just on his 6th start, I think, after yesterday. I feel like sometimes we like to assume that if someone's not Justin Herbert in their first start, they're going to be a bust, and that's not even the case. I mean, guys like Lamar and Josh Allen, when they first started, played 4 or 5 games, and they still had a lot of struggles, and they grew. So I would give him a B. I mean, because realistically, for him, man, I said this yesterday. He's not a pretty quarterback. He's not going to make it look pretty. But if he wins games, that's really all that matters. If he comes up big when he's supposed to, that's really all that matters. And that's basically what he did. That's how he won all those games in Cincinnati. And that's how we won the game yesterday. I said when Desmond started barking on the sideline, I knew it was going to happen. Because, I mean, when he's confident like that, he kind of starts the ball. Like, because he's into the game, he's more confident himself in general. So I think overall, I think he did a good job. Obviously, he had some bad throws in the first half. And, I was like, yeah, he needs to be better with that type of stuff. But I think with how he's grown, what he needs to do in a position, leading a comeback down 2 scores, I mean, how do you sit there and say he doesn't deserve a solid grade after that? Because, I mean, listen, this is Marcus Mariota. That probably wouldn't have happened yesterday. So, I mean, I feel like you have to think about the comeback, how he played in that 4th quarter, the money quarter. The team rallied around him, he made big throws, and he was also able to use his legs. So I'll give him a solid B.
Solid B. I can definitely dig it. And everybody in the chat, make sure you drop your grade for Desmond Ritter in the chat and let us know how you think he did. Larry, what's your grade for your quarterback?
Well, let me preface this that I have been hard on Ritter. I will admit, raise my hand, I have. With that said, I don't even care about the numbers. The numbers are secondary to me. What I saw Desmond Ritter do is something that we all discussed in ABG. We were asking ourselves, were the second quarter him getting better, and especially playing better in the 4th quarter, was that because of other teams taking out their starters or him actually getting better? Was that him figuring things out and settling down? Or again, was the game already out of hand and it wasn't any stress or anything like that? That's one little, I mean, I think that game was a character game. I think Desmond grew up in that game, not only just barking at the fans, whatever, if it was at our fans or at Green Bay fans, whoever it was. I think his teammates will rally around that. I think that for the first time, I've seen real leadership qualities out of him. We heard about it all during the offseason. I was one of the people saying, hey, they always talking about Desmond Ritter leadership, but they ain't telling me how tight his spiral is. They don't tell me how he threw a 50-yard bomb in practice. You know what I'm saying? The touch he has. You know what I'm saying? The way to read defenses. They told me he studied the playbook. He learned it faster than any rookie he ever seen. And he got a lot of innate leadership qualities that don't show up in stats. Yet he wasn't name a captain. So that had my head scratching. But that right there, he might not have a C on his chest. We had a C inside his chest. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of why I will give Desmond a B plus also, because that could be a, I don't want to overhype it, you know what I'm saying? Because I want to see more improvement, but I've seen incremental improvement, you know. And I'm going to lay it off as Desmond, as Arthur Smith goes to start trusting this kid to let loose that ball, he'll gain confidence in himself and the team will gain confidence in him, you know. Because one thing I didn't hear that first week was people bad mouthing Desmond because he was super efficient but barely got the ball down the field. I didn't hear that. So, yeah, I got to give him applause. And I like to see that. I want to see more growth. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Still with a skeptical eye, but he definitely turned me into, okay, we might have a dude that can lead our team. And he don't have to be Matt Ryan. He don't have to be, you know, the next whoever. But we get dubs, just like Brice said, we get dubs. I'm with it.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's the only thing that mattered at the end of the day. As far as Desmond yesterday, I said this yesterday in our ABG group. I think that first interception he threw was probably the best thing that could happen to him at the time, because I felt like it happened. It's out of the way. Now you don't have to be all stiff and timid and worry about, I don't want to throw a pick here, I don't want to throw a pick there. Even though, you know, you almost threw a couple of more, but we won't dig too deep into that. But I think that did him well. And I noticed also Arthur Smith came into the game with a game plan to try to allow him to throw the ball a lot more. We got out of the pistol formation. And, you know, we started to spread our receivers out. You know, so we were looking to throw the ball a good portion of this game, which lets me know that Arthur Smith is starting to trust him a little bit more and wants him to be more than just a quarterback throwing the ball 18 times a game for 115 yards, which we saw in week 1.
Yes.
Desmond still has a lot to work on. He still has a lot to work on and a long way to go. This is only his 6th start yesterday, so a lot to work on. What I saw from him that I really admired from my starting quarterback, I seen fight. You know, I seen fight and I seen heart from it. Even one play where he ran the ball and he was headed toward out of bounds. 99% of the quarterbacks in the NFL, they're going to see that out of bounds line and they're going to dart to it. It's a safety zone for him.
Yeah.
But you know what he did? He ducked his head down a little bit. It's like, you know what? You're going to hit me, but I'm going to deliver a little pop back to you. And I like to see that. That might not have been the smartest thing to do for a quarterback, especially how it seems it's easy to get concussions now in today's game. But I saw fight and I saw some dog in him. And as he's done, since we drafted him, the 4 games that he played last year, the 2 games this year, the second half, he looked like a different player. Mm-hmm. When we ran that read option and he scored the ball, running the ball, I could just see the light kind of came on for him. I could see like the confidence level actually come up. It was almost like he was saying, you know what? I can really do this. It's starting to come to me now. And that changed the whole atmosphere in the stadium. You could hear the fans, you know, and I really think a lot of the skeptical fans, they started thinking like, you know what? He might can do it. And I think even the guys in the locker room, they start looking at him differently. Like, you know what? This kid may actually be that guy. He really may be that guy. Now, as far as the numbers go, the completion percentage is only about 59%, if I remember correctly. You know, so he still has some downfield accuracy issues that we want him to take care of. But my grade for Ritter, I'm going to give him a B minus. I'm going to give him a B minus, and I think that's a pretty solid grade for him for only his 2nd start this season, being a very young, inexperienced quarterback. So I'm going to go with a B minus. Let's check out the chat real quick. David Stark says B minus also. The 2 almost picks was bad, but when we needed him, he was there. I definitely agree with that. Winston says a C, 1 INT and 3 more that should have been picked. Wilk on YouTube says a B minus. Eric Parker gives him a B minus also. And what's up, John Higgins? John Higgins says 280 all-purpose yards. Berto gives him a B minus. And let's see, Wallace Smith gives him, he says, I'll give Ritter a B because last week was just the first game with the offense not being in sync. Very, very good point. Definitely a good point with that.
Preseason game. Good job, Wallace. Exactly.
Yeah, Wallace always be on point.
Yeah.
Berto says that Desmond Ritter can be a Matt Ryan version of 2008. We're going to be straight. Ryan averaged 215 yards per game, 16 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. I absolutely agree with you on that. Excellent point, by the way, as well. Dravis A. Carr from YouTube says a B plus for me. Sure, he started off slow, but he held in there like a true quarterback should. He has heart, which is definitely coachable to a lot of coaches. I definitely agree on that. Amelia from Facebook says needs more practice. His timing is off some, and I can agree with that, Amelia. And I think, yeah, we got a long season ahead of us, and I think with time that's gonna come for him as well. Rusty says C plus. If Green Bay can catch an INT, we're 1-1 and piling on Dez today. Love his heart though. He definitely showed some heart. Showed a lot of heart. Sean Glover checking in says a B. Amelia says a B minus. Travis says a B minus. And let's see here. We got Silas Draven on YouTube says B minus. He stepped up when we needed him. Right. He stepped up a lot when we needed him. So some pretty good grades coming in for Desmond Ritter. Let's get one more grade in here, y'all. Let's go ahead and grade Mr. B.
Well,
John. Go ahead, Larry.
Before we move off from Ritter, also, guys, we're talking about the 2 interceptions he almost threw. We also got to talk about the touchdown he threw that got taken away. I still feel like that was a touchdown. So if you're going to talk about the interceptions that he almost threw, then talk about the touchdown he threw and they took away too. Fair is fair, bro. Fair is fair. All right, let's go on to Bijan.
Good point. Great point. And Pasta Girl checks in, says a B plus picks are going to happen as a quarterback, but he came up in the clutch. Excellent. Yep, I totally agree, Pasta Girl. Shout out to you. Let's go to Mr. Bijan, man, who has Falcons social media in a frenzy today. Mr. Robinson, Bijan Robinson, the number 8th overall pick in this past season's draft. He had 124 rushing yards, 19 carries, and astounding 6.5 yards per carry, which in NFL football, guys, that's superb. That's great in college, actually. He also caught 4 passes for 48 yards. Longest reception yesterday was 29 yards, and he only had 5 targets. So we'll start with Larry this time, and also 172 all-purpose yards. So Larry, what grade would you give Bijan? So we'll go to you, Bryce, and we'll come back to Larry.
No, y'all
I
go
got
ahead.
you.
I bet.
I would go. I go A plus, man. I mean, Bijan was everything you needed him to be yesterday. I mean, you kind of saw everything on display. You kind of watched that game and you saw him. It's like, man, Bijan's kind of insane. Like, even though he didn't pop like a big 50, 60-yard run, every run it felt like he had was impressive. The patience, the vision, the cutbacks. I mean, he folded up like 7 Green Bay defenders. He was a guy who is definitely worth the pick that we invested in him. I know people obviously when that pick was made wasn't sure it was a running back. We all know right now running backs in the league are viewed weird in terms of value to a team, but you can see Bijan is extremely valuable to us. And Arthur Smith knows that he's extremely valuable to us, and he just makes our offense go that much more. He creates easy matchups if they do want to use him as a receiver, and I used him in both ways yesterday. So I think overall Bijan was. I mean, I feel like you can't give me anything less than an A plus, man. I mean, he basically converted 2 4th downs, especially that gutsy one that Arthur Smith called on that last drive. I mean, because they said who would go outside on a 4th and inches. And you know why? Because Arthur Smith said, I will trust Bijan Robinson in space against any team in the NFL, any player, and I believe he'll get that yard. And that should tell you 2 games into his career, the fact that he's already got that type of trust from his coach tells you the type of player they expect him to be for this team.
Yeah.
So I'll give him an A plus.
Yeah, very well said. All right, and go ahead, Larry. What's your grade for Bijan?
I mean, again, Another admission. I didn't want to draft Bijan at all. Period, point blank. I didn't. I felt like it was a luxury pick, just like getting Kyle Pitts. Now, I didn't know that Julio wanted to leave, but at the time, I felt like Kyle Pitts was a luxury pick. And I felt like we were repeating history by getting Bijan Robinson. We have an excellent young running back in Tyler Algiers, who almost got 1,200 yards in his rookie season. That didn't start in the first game and was backing up CP until he got hurt. But with that said, we're going S. We're going above a S. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. Bijan Robinson is a generational talent. And this is not to put Bijan and Algiers between each other or something like that. Bijan is Marshall Faulk 2.0. That is not hyperbole. That is not an exaggeration, guys. That's who he is. As soon as I went to training camp and saw this kid, I was like, wow, I was wrong. He the sauce. And it is what it is. If you give that kid between 19 to 24 carries, that is what you're going to get for for the rest of his career. That is the performance you're going to get from him. Look here, man. Ain't nobody been as elusive as him since this guy on my jersey. That's why I got Bijan right here. I got Mike Vick on right now. So there's literally no one been as elusive in a Falcons uniform since Michael Vick. And before then, Dion, but he played defense, not offense. Literally, we have a generational talent. I want people to put it in context like this. Michael Turner didn't become Michael Turner, the burner Turner, until he came to Atlanta and got away from LT. Mm-hmm. Michael Turner is an excellent running back. Not a Hall of Famer, but an excellent franchise running back. LT was a Hall of Famer. And that's what we have right now. We have an excellent young running back in Tyler Algiers as a number 2. We have a generational Hall of Fame talent in Bijan and should be treated as such. That's where I'm at. That's the face of the franchise, man.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. It is what it is.
I definitely agree with you on that.
He's wearing number 7 for a reason, bro.
Yeah, very well said. As far as me watching Bijan yesterday, man, it was like, and I'm like you, Larry, full transparency. I'm a big University of Georgia football fan. So that,
oh, man, stop playing with me.
So as I'm sure you guys know, with that comes some bias toward UJ players. As most of us UJ diehard fans are fanboys, and we want them to come to the Falcons. We logically know it don't really always work like that. But when we get a dog, we want him to come to the Falcons. We wanted Todd Gurley to come to the Falcons when we had the chance to draft him. So after watching Jalen Carter the prior 2 championship seasons at UGA, he was arguably the best player on the team, including both sides of the ball. Shout out to Stetson Bennett.
Yes.
Can't forget about my boy Big Stet Dog. But Jalen Carter, man, he was just such a exceptional talent. And unfortunately, there were some things that happened off the field, which definitely affected his draft stock. And we all know since the Michael Vick thing, the Falcons have been very careful about drafting what they consider high character guys.
Yes.
And when you hear a Bijan interview, you see how he moves, how he talks, how he's always smiling. You can see how when the Falcons met him, he won them over immediately. So with that said, I was a Jalen Carter guy by my own admission. But watching Bijan yesterday, it was like I remember when I was younger and I would watch Barry Bonds in his prime when he played for the San Francisco Giants. When he would come to the plate, you always felt like every time he took a swing at the baseball, it probably was going to be a home run. That's how I feel about Bijan Robinson. Every time he touched the ball yesterday, I felt like he could take it the distance. He was the best, easily the best player on the field yesterday. 172 all-purpose yards, almost 125 rushing yards. I think about 50 receiving yards. He was exceptional, man. Without him, we're really not in that game yesterday. I don't think. So with all that said, man, I gotta give Bijan Robinson A plus, and that's without him even scoring a touchdown. That's
For real,
how
for real.
good he was running that football yesterday. A plus for Bijan Robinson, without a doubt in my mind. And let's see what some people in the chat say real quick, and then we'll continue the conversation. There for Days on YouTube says, "Hey, Bijan is a rock star. Look at how he waits for the blocks. He will be elite." Yeah, some people argue that he's already elite. Wilk on YouTube says an A plus. Amelia on Facebook says an A plus. Mo Lewis, what's up? Mo says, "Hey, the real unicorn, Bijan Robinson."
Yeah,
And we may have to talk about the unicorn too, gentlemen. The other unicorn.
that's fine with me.
Eric Parker says Bijan definitely an A plus. Wilk says rookie of the year loading. Yeah, hey, Wilk, this guy may make a play for offensive player of the year, man. He may
Seriously.
make a play for offensive player of the year
If he get enough touches.
Right, and I think he will. I definitely think he will.
We'll see.
David Starr says A plus, 176 all-purpose yards, and the wiggle on the kid. My goodness. Pascal said, "I'm gonna give Bijan a principal list. I can dig it." Winston says A plus plus. The man is different. He moves at a different speed than everyone else, and it's evident. I totally agree with that. Travis says Bijan Mustard gets an A plus. I still wanted Carter, but Bijan did great. He definitely did. So really some high grades coming in for Bijan. DJ Gamer says, "I really hope Bijan doesn't get injured, man, and I hope his play doesn't suddenly fall off. But I think he showed that everyone can get the ball and have meaningful yards. I can definitely understand that." Let me ask y'all this. Speaking of injured, again, drafting a running back at 8, that was some of my reservations about their shelf life. Like, Brice, did you have any concerns at the time, or do you have any concerns now that he will have a short life as a running back?
I think it kind of depends, man. It's always hard with running backs because, I mean, you can sit here and say Derrick Henry is still Derrick Henry, and he's been doing it for a long time, and he's a more physical back than most backs in this league. But you've got guys like Zeke who kind of fell off after the first contract. So it kind of just depends. I feel like Bijan is the type, though. I feel like the way he takes care of himself, I expect him to still be at least just as effective, just as dangerous going into his second contract. Like, maybe, obviously, they used to say when a running back hits 30, that's when it starts to go downhill. But I think Bijan will be able to get past his first rookie contract and still be able to be productive later. I think it literally just depends. I think the Falcons will probably always have a running back by committee. This is the new wave of running the football in the league now, just to help preserve running backs to begin with. And so, I mean, they're always going to, I think, have other guys who can also take some of the load off of him. Obviously, there will be games where, Bijan might need to be the breadwinner that game, and he take a lot of those carries and carry a lot of that load. But I think he should be good to go. I don't know. He just gives me confidence that I think Bijan can still be Bijan, especially with Tyler Algier. I mean, I feel like those two might be here for a while. And then, you might swap, like this Cordero whenever his time is, and you swap the third running back and you make adjustments and things like that. And they may go to a 3 running back system for years to come as well. We have no idea. But overall, I'm not really too concerned about it. I mean, and I feel like Bijan is the type of guy, like I said, who's going to try to figure out ways to still be effective, even if he does notice a decline and maybe some speed, maybe some cuts. He'll still be able to, how can I still be effective? He seems like a humble kid who's always looking to be better if he can be. He's always looking for advice, looking for information, and I think he that will help him potentially extend his shelf life.
Totally agree. What about you, Larry? What are your thoughts?
I kind of want to echo that. Only thing that we differ on, I don't think there's no way in hell we keep Algier past his rookie contract. I just think Bijan is going to be just like I said with the Michael Turner and LT situation. You're going to give that star player that money, and I'm sure Algier wants to be a starting running back for a team. I'm sure he has aspirations there, especially how great he looked in his rookie season, breaking the Falcons record. So I don't expect us to keep them both. So I just want to enjoy both of them right now. Worrying about Bijan getting hurt is a life of a football player, especially for a running back. We can't really be concerned with that. Running back takes the most punishment outside of offensive linemen in football. Their job is to run into guys 150 pounds heavier than them every game with force. So I'm not worried about it because how elusive he is. I feel that he's going to shade himself away from the big hit. But also, he can deliver it too. It's not like he's Jared Norwood, chicken legs. You know what I'm saying? That's a skinny dude that's super fast. We all remember Norwood. You know what I'm saying? That's not the type of running back he is. We'll see him juke somebody out of his draws and drag people 3 or 4 yards like he did in this game. Like, I really feel strongly that, hey, we have a generational player. We have the face of the franchise. He's already super marketable. And you can't teach cutting full speed and juking people like that. Like, whoop, like going, you fly by, then whoop, hit it with the stutter. I'm not going outside. I'm setting you up. Good running backs have that vision. They can set up the man coming across because he already see him out of his peripheral. But first, let me take care of you. Whoop. Other guy come up, set him up. Think I'm gonna cut outside. Boom, I'm going this way, man. Stop playing with me. So I'm not worried about Bijan getting hurt at all. I mean, he's carried the ball in college 21.5 times per game. That's what made him special. That's what made all the scouts look at him and say, yo, this dude different. This is the best running back coming out since Saquon. I think he's better than Saquon. Yeah, I said it. Because of the innate skill set, I feel like he's literally like either LT or a Marshall Faulk clone. Like, he's generational, man. You don't see them cats. You don't see that, man. So, yeah, I'm not worried about him getting hurt at all, to be honest. And as long as we have that big power back behind him to take that pressure off of him, you know, put Algiers, we're down at the goal line, and we trying to do a first down and do the Eagles mush push. We ain't got the offensive line for that. So either give it to Algiers or give it to Bijan in space and watch him work. Yeah.
I like it. And I pretty much agree, especially when you mentioned Tyler Algier. I think we're gonna have him there as the bruiser, you know, for lack of better words, to handle when you run the ball in between the tackles, all those what we consider tough yardage. I think you'll see Algier get a lot of those carries. And I really see us using Bijan like y'all excuse me for bringing up our rivals, but like Alvin Kamara in New Orleans, you know, he'll be used to catch the ball. He'll be used to run the ball. He'll be used to spread out as a wide receiver. And I think that's going to help preserve him longer than the typical new age running backs. You know, we saw a guy like Devontae Freeman. He started off phenomenal for Atlanta. And then after he started getting those concussions, he fell off pretty quick. And I think a lot of that had to do with Devontae's running style because he was only about 5'9", but he liked to run like he was 6'4", 240, you know, and drop his head and drop his shoulder. But I do see Bijan having staying power in this league with the Falcons. So as of right now, not really too concerned about it on my side. A few more grades came in for Bijan. DJ Gaming gave him an A++. Sean Glover gave him an A. Andre Coach Davis checking in. What's up, Coach? Says Bijan Robinson gets a B from me, not because he did anything wrong, but we currently aren't using him correctly to where we can see him really shine. As crazy as that sounds, and there is a reason I say that. Tell us why you say that, please.
I know why he's saying it. No, I know why he's saying it.
Why he's saying it?
Because, I mean, it's just like what I've been saying. Like last game, he got 19 carries, which was excellent. If we're gonna, and Algiers had 16. Okay. So if you want the balance, then that's the type of balance I would agree to when everybody was telling me, no, we need to be balanced. Need to run him, equal amount of times, or just give him 10 rushes and 15 touches with the receiver. I think that's ludicrous. Anyone that's played football and know how running backs do, you're not going to get 10 straight positive plays. You may get 6 positive plays out of that 4. Somebody miss a blocking assignment. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the defense they scout too. So they scout it and know it and stop you for a loss. 10 rushing plays is entirely too small. And then 5, he can have 15 touches. Man, look here, man. Bijan needs between 25 to 28 touches combining rushing and passing. However you want to do it. You know what I'm saying? If you want to see him out in the slot more because this team want to spy a linebacker on him, then do that. If you want to have him running because the interior or the outside linebackers' feet are too slow, then do that. But he's such a weapon that taking him off the field makes us more one-dimensional. But we are a running team. But with Bijan out there, you don't know if he's coming out for a catch. You don't know if he's going to run up the middle or bounce outside. That's how electric he is. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, just like with Mike Vick, when he went back and faked the handoff and came off that curl waggle, all the linebackers and linemen went towards Mike Vick. I'll let Ward Dunn and T.J. Duckett run for 10, 15 yards. Mike Vick can go to the house. So that's my responsibility. That's what every coach going to do. And when Bijan Robinson is on the field, you have to account for him. We finally have someone in a Falcon uniform we have to account for. And it's just as devastating as what Julio would do and how he would draw the defense, but even more because he's not dependent on the quarterback, but just not mess up the handoff. That's it. He's making the offensive line look better also with his running. So, yeah. Also, Algiers can't catch out the backfield. Don't get it twisted. I know a lot of people, he can catch out the backfield. So he's not really one-dimensional like Michael Turner. If someone comes up and says, well, he can catch better than Michael Turner. I know that. You know what I'm saying? I know that. And he got more swivel to his hip than Michael Turner. I'm just saying the comparison between LT and Michael Turner. You know what I'm saying? You got a Hall of Fame running back, and then you got a franchise running back. Both are not the same. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
Gotcha. Understood.
Yeah.
And also, Berto says an A+. I'm at a loss for words for Bijan. And let me ask you this, Larry, real quick, based on what you just said. You said he should get about 25 to 28 touches per game. Don't you, when you have like a concern that you may overwork him if he's touching the ball 25, 27 times per game? Because, even though you may be throwing it to him, some of those touches, he's still going to start absorbing a lot of hits after so long as well.
Fair. That's why you have, look, man, everybody wants Ritter to be throwing for 300-something yards. No, that way he did yesterday was his pocket. That's what I want. I need Jimmy Garoppolo to make Bijan and Algiers work. I need Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't need Justin Herbert. I don't need Josh Allen. I don't need that, and I don't trust them guys either. But that's another show. But I need him to fit with this running back tandem. I can't have him being a 350, 400-yard passer. Because that takes the ball. That takes the ball out of Bijan and Algiers' hand. I like us being ground control. We are an undersized defense. Us running the ball and chewing the clock right like that helped our defense because they were tired, even coming out of the tunnel at halftime. That's why we gave up so many yards because we were not sustaining runs. Sustaining drives in the first half. Once we started sustaining drives, hey, defense, prep up. All right, let's go. Defense ain't sitting there like, man, we gotta get a pick six and we ain't gonna win this. They're not thinking like that. They're like, we gotta stop, get the ball to Dez and Bijan. We got a chance. And that's how they play. You want some more pizza, son? Okay, I get it. I'm done. I gotta get my y'all go ahead. Let me get my son some pizza right quick.
Yeah,
You
go
got it,
ahead,
babe?
man.
Okay, thank you.
Also, Brice, I want to bring something up that I saw you mention. You mentioned also Arnold Ebiketie played much more in the second half. You also said he was consistently in the backfield, and that you hope Nielsen realizes for this pass rush to improve, he has to play more. Can you go a little more into detail about that statement for us?
Oh yeah, I mean, I feel like we drafted our Ebiketie to be our main pass rusher. We expected him to grow into our guy, and I was just confused why the defensive line rotations, why Calais was playing on the defensive end, and then you got Grady and David, and I'm like, I mean, they're good players, and then obviously interior pressure. I trust Grady and I trust David, but like that one run Jordan Love had yesterday, where Calais was dropped back into coverage and he was slow. I was just kind of like, that makes no sense to me. Like,
Yeah.
literally, if we place a mobile quarterback, if that's our D line outside of Bud Dupree, nobody can catch him. So mobile quarterback get past the D line like there's no problem unless they get interior pressure and are able to just swallow him up. So I was like, Arnold, I feel like is our best pure pass rusher, and when one of the issues we've had is getting after the pass the first two games on the defensive side, outside of when they send a blitz maybe or things like that. So I was kind of like, Arnold should play more because he's our best rusher. I think he's improved as a rusher from last year. And I don't know if Ryan Nielsen looked at his athleticism and thought, well, he can play off ball. He can go drop it back into coverage. He can do multiple things. Because some coaches kind of get cute with guys like that. I mean, I'll bring up the example of Perkins from LSU. People talk about him in college. He's one of the best pass rushers in the country last year. They've been using him as an off-ball linebacker, and everybody's like, what are we doing? His strength is rushing the passer.
Yeah.
Like, let him do that. That's where he can dominate and change the game. And so for me, I'm just like, when I noticed in the second half when they were struggling to get pressure on Jordan Love in the first, I noticed Ebiketie got more snaps. They were doing some more 5-man rushes where Ebiketie was the end. And then especially on that last drive with Packers had, I think he got into the backfield 2 or 3 times. I don't know if y'all noticed that. Like, Ebiketie was back there hitting Jordan Love 2-3 times on that last possession. And that's exactly why he needs to be in there for those situations. I feel like if this pass rush is going to be what they can be, Ebiketie has to be a main part of that. Because, like I said, third down, they'll make Caden Ellis a pass rusher. Usually they make him a pass rusher depending on the coverage. And then you got Bud. And then you got Arnold. And then you could send 5 guys. You could still have Grady, who can get after it. And David can get after it. So I feel like, okay, you probably can get pressure. You got a lot of athleticism out there in the defensive line right now. You can get after guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, that to me is going to be what could lead to success as a pass rusher. Even D'Angelo Malone, if they want to give him more reps. So I feel like too that's also Ryan Nielsen learning, maybe learning his defense. Remember, this is the first time he's been defensive coordinator. So he's learning. He's learning his personnel and what works and who's able to do this well. Because you can try all that stuff in training camp and practice, but you really truly won't know till they get on the field. So I think that's why I think in the second half of yesterday's game, you saw Ebiketie more because he's like, I need to get after the pass, so we got to do something. And they cut Clay's snaps down. Because first week he played 51. I think I looked at it before I came on here. I want to say they said he played 29 snaps, which is, I think, around where they want him to play, like 30 to 40 snaps a game.
Yeah.
Because he's older, everything like that.
Yeah.
So, and I think he should be playing in the interior with Grady and David, like swap them out, Tyquan Graham, guys, and I think that's a formidable interior presence and rush that we can get from up there. If you want to maybe first down Calais Campbell, and just because you're trying to stop the run, you go against a heavy running team, okay. But you go against an air raid, you gotta reduce Calais, put Arnold in there, let the guys go after it, because I think that's what's going to lead to the Falcons just being able to get more pressure on quarterbacks in the future.
Very well said, bro. Very well said. And
very well.
I would like to I would like to ask you both. We spoke on Caden Ellis earlier, and obviously Troy Anderson was out yesterday. And Troy Anderson, that's another guy who's got a lot of mixed reviews, especially after the week 1 game. What's both of y'all's opinion on Troy Anderson, and how can he be more effective on this team?
Right. You want me to take this first, Larry?
So you take it first, bro. You got
it. All right. I mean, I think the one thing about Troy since he's came to the team, everybody's kind of just been like he has a ton of potential. I mean, he came from Montana, FCS. You know, everybody's like, there's a lot of physical traits and tools that he can grow off. His biggest thing is instincts, play recognition, not overrunning plays, things like that. And that's something that he's still trying to, get better at, learn. And then I think a lot of people, including myself, feel like he'll get better at that because, I mean, outside of that, he's one of the most athletic linebackers in the league, one of the fastest linebackers in the league. Yeah. That's why there is so much expectation. He can cover running backs and tight ends because he's not like he's a slow linebacker trying to guard somebody. He can actually, for certain players, keep up with them. When he blitzes, everybody's seen when he blitzes. When they actually send him on one, it's like a missile because he just full steam ahead, 4.3 speed at your quarterback. So like that in itself makes him dangerous in that regard. I mean, I think in general, again, it's one thing about this regime is that they've showed us all they believe in development. Development is not cute. Development is not going to be quick. It may take a minute, but as long as they feel like there's progress there, they're going to stick with you. And I think Troy's another example of that with what's going on. Like they think Troy will eventually turn into the linebacker they think he can be. A lot of people think he can be a high-end linebacker the way he plays. If he can just clean up a lot of mental stuff, they think physically he can be one of the best in the league. He just got to clean up the mental. And that also can just come with reps. That can come with coaching. That can come with a lot of other things. I'm sure he'd work with Caden. I'm sure, he's talking to, Ryan Nielsen about some things and just trying to improve that. That's what they said when he was going one-on-one with Bijan. That's going to help him because we know how Bijan is in space. And that'll just help him when we play other teams that have running backs like that. Because, now when he plays a guy who's not as nimble as Bijan, it shouldn't be as difficult for him. Because he's like, I've guarded Bijan Robinson. I think I can guard so-and-so. So I think potentially wise, I think he still has a lot of potential for what we want from him, especially since we're basically doing a 2 linebacker set. You know what I'm saying? Basically pretty for the most part. So I think Troy, like I said, week 1, he had some really good plays, but he had some plays that like, what is he doing there? And that's just part of it. That's just part of it with young guys. Remember last year, Pease ain't really play him to like second half of the year, like in terms of like as a linebacker instead of special teams. Like, so he's still not even through a full NFL season of being the linebacker and getting those reps. So as long as you continue to see that progress, I think Troy Anderson, man, I think he's set up to be one of the better guys we're gonna have here for the next couple of years.
Very well stated, Larry. I know you want to speak on old Troy, so go ahead. I think you muted, Larry.
Yeah, I think you muted.
My bad. I think with Troy Anderson, yeah, you said that. That was right. That was nice, Brice. That was real nice. That was real political correct. You know what I'm saying? That was nice. That was nice. What I will say, I do agree with you. It is a learning process. Okay. And Troy has a lot to learn. Yes, he does have the physical tools and a foot race running straight. Combine drills, in draws and t-shirt. What I need to see and what you alluded to is in between the ears, football instincts, not getting mixed up in the wash as a middle linebacker. I think he is probably playing out of position. I personally feel like he's not a middle linebacker. I don't feel he has the instinct. I know he's studying film, but I don't think he has the instinct to bust those gaps when they pull the center. And we got big Calais in there, and he can't get in there and fill a hole, or he gets the wrong gap. He go A gap, they go B gap. You know what I'm saying? Or when he's trailing on the outside, your speed don't mean anything if you're on the inside and you don't have the instincts to dissect what they're doing. Because a lot of the middle linebacker position is mental. That's a cerebral spot to play, man. Like most teams, that's the quarterback, if not the safety, because he has the view of the entire defense. So I like Jesse Bates back there being the quarterback of the defense. But yeah, I feel like he's miscast as a middle linebacker. I would rather, just like you said, when we send him on defense, yeah, he can be like a missile. I need to put that missile on the outside and get him wide, or either Grady or Calais if they want to put Calais out there on the edge. And let them do games, do stunts, do games. You know what I'm saying? Let him use his speed to his ability and stop making this kid think too much. Because right now, a lot of people gave Ritter a whole bunch of grief. But Ritter was a 3rd-round pick. He was a 2nd-round pick. So when you judging players apples to apples, I mean, a 2nd-round pick is supposed to be a pillar of your team eventually. So I don't know. I think I've been harder on Troy Anderson than Ritter, to be honest. And the guy Legman, or what's his name? He actually filled the hole better yesterday.
Nate.
Number 53.
Yeah, Nate.
Number 53 was filling that hole like he was supposed to. He had his nose in there, and he wasn't pile jumping either. He had his nose up in there. He might not have made the tackle, but he was up there in it. He did his job enough that in the 4th quarter, there wasn't a huge gap that somebody can just bust through the hole because they running draws on us all day. Because he can't cover. His hips are still stiff. It ain't Bijan making him look like that. When he got isolated in the first game, it was kind of bad too. So, all hoping for the best with Troy, but I don't know, bro. I mean, I'm just being honest. I think he's being miscast in middle linebacker. I think exactly what you said, Brice. If we stick him on the outside and let him hunt the quarterback on pass rushing situations, I think, put him on weak side. Weak side, put him next to Calais or Grady, and let him do some stunts or gains to use that speed to get to the quarterback. I think he'll be most suited for that.
Well said. Very well said. And also, Brice, I also want to read a tweet that you sent out, obviously, as the game was going on, or maybe right after the game ended, I should say, excuse me. And I really want to dissect it because you said some very, very interesting things here. You said there's many things to fix. This team has flaws. Ritter still needs to get better, pass rush too, but I think it's a journey. The coaches are learning just as much as the players. The fact that we are 2-0 with that could mean big things down the line. I would like you to tell us in more detail when you say there are many things to fix. One, and also when you say Ritter still needs to get better, because as we all know as Falcons fans, we're going to talk about this quarterback position ad nauseum. So give us break down that tweet for us. I know on Twitter you only have 140 words, but speak your mind as freely to break down what you were saying with that tweet.
Yeah, definitely, man. So in terms of the team, actually I'll start with Ritter. In terms of Ritter needs to get better. I had to clarify because I think I was subtweeted from someone like 2.9 a game. I was looking at it later that day. I was like, well, that's subtweeted because I know the way it was worded that it was like Ritter needs to be better. And that's not how at all I was trying to say that. I was saying that in terms of the long term, he needs to clean things up for us to reach the goals that we want to reach when it gets to that point. You know what I'm saying? That's what I meant when I said that. Because, obviously, I also said that I expect Ritter to improve. I think that will come. I do believe in him as a guy who can continue to get better and continue to grow within the system and continue to grow within himself as a player. Because if he gets better, because I've said this. People don't think about this. Desmond Ritter's on a 3rd-round contract.
Mm-hmm.
He don't cost us anything right now. If he is good, the Falcons actually have a Super Bowl window right now, like Russell Wilson with Seattle, because now they can invest all the other positions until they have to pay him. So now as long as he can, do his thing, you'll be a competitive football team for at least the next 2-3 years until that conversation comes up, if it works out. But I think Ritter overall, man, he's a guy who I just think You got to give him time to just grow. Got to give him time to get better. Got to give him time to improve as a quarterback. Because listen, not everybody is going to just out the gate be elite, out the gate be amazing. I think because we're so obsessed with the situation, we're basically like every throw he makes is like, is that an elite NFL quarterback throw? Is that a guy who can win a Super Bowl? Is that this? It's just like we're always trying to say, is he going to be good enough? And I'm just like, why do we have to view everything like that? Why does everything have to be that? Because at the end of the day, there are guys in this league who are extremely mid and have gotten big contracts, and that's why their team's not, doing what they need to do, and they haven't, reached expectations. If we're going off of, he's struggling in both like the first 2-3 games of his career. If Bryce Young comes out and throws another 2 interceptions, now I guess he's a bust, huh? Because he's throwing more picks than touchdowns. If we're going off that perspective, but the thing is everybody knows that Bryce Young get more playing time, he'll get better. We know Carolina has limited weapons, but he'll get better, he'll improve, and that's the same thing I just asked for Desmond. But I do, and I expect, and Desmond knows like he needs to be better overall. He just needs to become more consistent, and has to get off the faster starts. In terms of the team has flaws, I mean, yeah, the team isn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination. They're a much better rounded team than they were last year. In the last couple of years, obviously with the lack of salary cap, not able to get the type of players they wanted to get into this year. Like I said, pass rush is one of those things. Offensive line, we'll still have to see how that is. They've been struggling a little bit more in the passing game this year, but protecting a little bit, obviously on the right side, especially with Caleb McGarry. But overall, I think, that's why it's like Arthur Smith actually said this today in his press conference. He said, we're 2-0, but we can still get a lot better. That's real, like the fact, that's what I said. The fact that we're 2-0 right now, and it's week 2, and we do have these issues, and we can grow as a team. Like that should mean good things for us as the season progresses, because you always want to be better than what you were in week 1 to week 16, week 17. Like week 16 and week 17, you need to be in the completed form of what your team is.
Yeah.
So you can get ready for the playoffs. And I think that's why there is actually a lot of excitement. I think there's a different energy around this team. I'll say this. This is something funny I've said. I said the Atlanta secondary is acting like coons, and that's why I know we're going to have an elite secondary, because I know that we're going to be out there. They are out here having fun. AJ locked in with Jesse, locked in with Richie. They locked in with Jeff, and Jeff ain't even played yet. Everybody is like, you can just feel that cohesiveness within the team, and everybody wants to be better, wants to make each other better so they can reach that goal, because they know, listen, Atlanta hasn't had a winning season since 2017. So it's been a while since this city's had this. So realistically for me, the fact, like I said, you're at this point, you're going into this week 3 with Detroit. That's a winnable game. It feels like now every game is a very winnable game for this team. It feels like, we could start the season off really, really well. And there's just a lot of potential overall for what this team can end up beating. And that's why I said it's a journey. There's going to be ups. There's going to be downs. Desmond will probably have a terrible game this year, because every quarterback does. And now people are going to crucify him and say he's not it. But then my question is, how does he respond? If he comes back and bounces back, that's what you want to see. That's what okay, he's made of something, because he bounced back from a bad performance. He's not going to be perfect through the entire season. There really isn't. Even Tom Brady, he'll have maybe 1 or 2 games throughout an entire season where he just was okay. He wasn't special. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's why for me with this team, I'm just like, I feel like there's so much more that can come from this season, and we'll see how that goes. But I feel like from coaches to players, position coaches, everybody, we're all learning, we're all getting better, we're all trying to get the same goal. We want to be a playoff team, we want to compete. They said they want to play 20 games this year. We'll see what happens with all that. But clearly they know what the expectations are. They know what's in place. I think Arthur Smith, as much as we've kind of hated some of the stuff he says, he has established a culture here. Yeah. He said, listen, we need to do anything we can to win. That's why I said they've invested in development, because if they don't, you're not going to get better as a team. You see some teams get worse as the season goes on. because of that. Obviously, unless it's injuries. So he's established that culture while he's been here, and I think you're now kind of seeing it within the roster and what you see within the play of the team. Because that comeback, remember, we are known for giving up those types of comebacks.
Yeah.
We don't usually do that to teams.
Right.
So the fact that we did that to a team, it was like we can legitimately say we could be down maybe 1 or 2 scores and no, we still have a chance. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, oh man, we're pretty much fish food at this point. We're done. You know what I'm saying? You have more confidence in this entire roster in general. And I think that in of itself is why I made a tweet like that and everything like that.
Totally understand. And I want to ask you guys both this, because since we're talking about this from Ritter, this applies to current Falcons and past Falcons. Why is the in both of you guys' opinion, why with our franchise, our fan base specifically, you both are on social media, so you see what these fans, the Falcons fans, say, because we can be some crazy ass fans at times, whether that be good or bad. But why is the quarterback position just so extremely polarizing, complex, and divisive? Very divisive amongst this fan base. It was there when Vic was there too, but the difference with Vic and Vic had a privilege of not being a social media Falcons quarterback. So he had the advantage of not having to deal with the other side of the fan base. But when Matt Ryan was here, there were just Falcons fans civil wars that lasted for at least a decade. And it's still here a little bit now. After week 1, there was a brand new civil war that broke out about Desmond Ridder. And I would like you guys to enlighten me and everybody that's watching, why is it that way with Falcons quarterbacks, in you guys' opinion?
Larry, I think you muted again.
You muted, Larry.
I bet. Yeah. Thank you for letting me go first. I think the thing with quarterbacks is that they're normally the face of your franchise. And they get paid the most, they get the most credit, they get the most blame. Head is heaviest who wear the crown. It's kind of, it kind of comes with the territory. If you're the quarterback, you're supposed to be the leader. That's one thing why people was up in the uproar, or like, hey man, Desmond Ridder got all these leadership qualities, but he didn't get a C on the chest. They gave it 2 offensive linemen. So things like that are going to be said about the quarterback, because they're just inherently thought of as being the quarterback, as being the leader. I don't think there's any other quarterback in the league that's not a co-captain of their team. So people are going to wonder about that. With Matt Ryan, there's a lot of people that just love Matt. Love Mike. It was never going to get over. They felt like Mike Vick was done dirty by Arthur Blank. Now, that's a whole nother subject, but there are Falcon fans out there that feel like Mike Vick was done wrong. Yep. So they were always going to hate Matt Ryan because he was the person who took his job. Plain and simple. I don't even think that it was it could be black and white, but more so it was just someone came in and took Mike Vick's job. And people felt like he should have been afforded a chance to come back to the organization. So a lot of people were just going to throw that hate at Matt Ryan regardless. The others say, hey, he was never, the guy who would just take over and say, to hell with the offense coordinator, coach, it's my team and stuff like that. We've seen outbursts from Matt saying line the F up and stuff like that. Hearing about Matt Ryan being fiery. But the perception from the fan base, also at the beginning of social media, just like Tidy was saying, bred a whole new animal. Everybody think that they know, this, that, and the third, want to comment on it and have a voice, and an anonymous voice, since they don't put their face behind it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I may talk this, that, and the third, but guess what? You come on my chat and be like, hey, I disagree with you. Or come on me and Shawn the channel, be like, I disagree with you, blah, blah, blah. You don't know what you're talking about. But I'll put my face to it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't hiding for nobody. Just like Dion said, I ain't hard to find. You know what I'm saying? So I just think the quarterback is always going to be a polarizing topic, because they're supposed to be the leader. Everybody wants the next Tom Brady. Everybody wants the next Joe Montana, thing like that. They want to hang their hat and say, we got the best quarterback. We got the prettiest girl at the dance and blah, blah, blah. But again, I don't need Ritter to be that. I've been saying for the longest, I need Ritter to be Garoppolo. The numbers ain't going to wow you, anything like that. Guess who else didn't wow you with numbers? Troy Aikman.
Yeah.
You look at Troy Aikman numbers, his best numbers is dubs. That's his best numbers. Dude averaging like 250 yards per game passing. I know it was a different era. I know you had Emmitt Smith, top 5 running back in NFL history. But again, you ain't wowing nobody back then. You weren't wowing me back then, Troy Aikman, as a passer of the football, but you didn't make mistakes. And if I remember, didn't he set like an all-time record in interceptions, the touchdown ratio in his rookie season? So we got to look at things in perspective, guys. Him and Peyton Manning look dirt horrible. If there was the social media back in the day with them guys started, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So yeah, a lot of the stuff that comes from social media and the climate we're in, bless his heart that Mike Vick didn't have to go through the social media in the first part of his career.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because all the stuff that we hear around the city, if you had your ear to the ground, it's a lot of stuff that never came out. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
And he'll be able to play stress-free without worried about Joe Blow and whoever putting up on a tweet and people retweeting it a million times. So that's kind of how I look at it, man. It comes with the territory, and I think Ritter tough. He showed me something, like he ain't backing down, he ain't scared. So let's see him grow. Let's go. Let's get it.
Yeah. Great answer, bro. What about you, Brice?
Okay. Yeah, I pretty much agree with him. I mean, I think, obviously people have brought up too when Matt came in, the white quarterback, and we, as Atlanta being high, many African Americans in the city, you had a black quarterback leading the franchise, and we also are one of the few fan bases that you actually will see on TV with a high percentage of black people at the games, not just a bunch of white folks. I think everybody just made that connection. And so when Matt came in, it was like, we got the white guy taking over. And oh God, it's like one of those things. Some people weren't happy about that, that happening. And so we were kind of just blinded by, regardless of whatever numbers he puts up, I refuse to support him. Because I remember when that change happened, because I actually became a Falcons fan and started watching the Falcons in 2007, which is a crazy year because that's after the big thing happened. And then we weren't even good that year. But I became a fan that year. And I was like obsessed with the team. I was always looking for information. I was on the website all the time. And I just remember when we drafted Matt Ryan and leading up to that, and when social media kind of started to be more relevant, how people were already kind of like, I don't know, I don't like him, like I'm not a fan. People were like, Joe Flacco, maybe, I don't know. It was just one of those things where it was like, as Matt Ryan played here, people just basically were just like, I won't like him. It don't matter what he do. It's just I won't accept him as my quarterback that's going to lead this team. He got to win a Super Bowl for me to like him. You know what I'm saying? Like some people are basically on that. Like if he don't win a Super Bowl, I'm not going to like him.
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting here sometimes talking about, they say, oh, Matt Ryan's trash. And I'm like, I remember, I can't remember what year it was. I think it was like 2000. It might have been 2017 when we had a winning record. But it might have been a year previous to that. Matt Ryan came off a season where he had 35 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. If you think about those numbers, you're like, I would love for Desmond to throw for 35 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. A lot of teams would love to have that stat line. But when Matt do it, he's still trash. And it's like, well, what do you want? You know, I feel like people just started having these unreasonable expectations of him. And it's just like, you know, they wanted him to do more to make them accept him. And I feel like that's unfair. And I think with Desmond currently too, is that, again, this fan base has a quarterback that they want or they really want to get behind. Why do you think Shedeur Sanders is one I've seen brought up multiple times as I would love for him to be a Falcon?
Yeah.
Obviously, the Sanders connection to Atlanta because Deion played here. Obviously, again, he's a black quarterback, so you know people want that face of our franchise to be what represents the majority of the city. Same thing with Lamar Jackson and those rumors. There's like the fan base has certain people that they really want as their guy here. You know, where instead of just being open to the process and saying whoever is the best quarterback, whoever can win games, whoever can put us to make us a relevant franchise, give me that. It's, well, I specifically need this player for me to be happy with who we have. And it's just like, why are we so specific with those types of things? You know, if he ball out, he ball out. If he because people say, well, Matt statistically is the greatest Falcon quarterback we've ever had. But you know people are going to sit there and say he's not. And it's not even, and it literally is just because they just never truly accepted him as the guy here. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's just unfair to him. Because, you know, what if Desmond has a 12, 13-year career here? You know what I'm saying? You still going to have people who are saying today they don't like Desmond Ridder. 12 years from now saying they don't like Desmond Ridder. You know what I'm saying? He kind of, and I'm going to give y'all a comp, and y'all can respond to this. Yeah. Insane comp I'm about to give.
Go ahead.
Desmond's comp to me, and it's not, I'm not even talking about like skills specifically. I mean, skills a little bit, but not even like the way they play. Just how he's viewed by the fan base. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Eli Manning. And the reason why I say that is because Giants fans, they appreciated Eli, but I remember when Eli would, you know, Eli would have games where he would be bad. He would have games where he was, and Giants fans were like, I hate him. I want him off the team. He sucks. But he also gave him 2 championships. He also stepped up when it came to hit clutch plays. He had those historic playoff runs. He never put up gaudy numbers. He wasn't the most talented, overly physically gifted guy ever. But he was a mixed bag within the New York Giants fan base because of all of that. And that's why I'm like, Desmond kind of reminds me of that right now. Like, he doesn't have the big arm, or he's not the flashy guy, or, you know, and I said, Desmond's the type of guy who probably will make bonehead decisions. He gives me that vibe.
Yeah.
He will probably piss us off. And that happens. But he also, like he did also let's stay in the game. He'll fight. He's resilient. He'll make winning plays. And if I ask you, if Desmond had the same career path as Eli Manning, would you be mad? That means he would give us 2 rings, but he's gonna also have seasons where he's gonna make bonehead decisions, piss us off, cost us games. But you're gonna get 2 rings with that. Would you be mad? Would you be upset?
No.
If we have the Giants defense, then no, I would not be mad. That's the other part of that.
Well, yeah, that too, and you're right.
Don't forget that. That's one. I mean,
but
that Giant defense was definitely carrying that team. Eli got hot at the right time, which what you need your quarterback to do in the playoffs, get hot at the right time. But yeah, appreciate that. But yeah, Eli, I never liked Eli, so I'd rather him be Jimmy G personally. But if I get two parades on Peachtree for the Atlanta Falcons, who was born in Atlanta, we didn't get them from Milwaukee like the Braves. We didn't get them from St. Louis like the Hawks. They're ours. They were born and raised. Atlanta Falcons are Grady babies. Plain and simple. So that parade is going to be a parade never seen before. So yeah. Oh yeah, if he got us 2 chips, yeah. Oh yeah, whatever. He have a statue on top of the bird.
Yeah. You can give him 2 statues if he bring 2 Super Bowls here, man.
Yeah. Doing a dirty bird with music coming out of that bird going, "Arr!" Yeah. All that.
Yeah, so that was just my monologue, I guess.
No, good. I agree with you, man.
Excellent points. I agree. I agree wholeheartedly, man. I just noticed that's just such a paradox, the quarterback position within this fan base, and I oftentimes fall victim to it myself. And I think everything you two gentlemen just mentioned plays a huge part in it. And I really just think the trauma of being a Falcons fan plays a big part in it also, because we've had some very heartbreaking moments dealing with the birds, these old dirty birds. But hopefully it'll be our time to shine soon. But gentlemen, I want to say thank you both for coming on the show, man. Larry is family of the show. Definitely appreciate y'all coming in. Brice, is this your first time on the show? Brice, Fox 56, I mean, let everybody know where they can find you at. Let them know you're on YouTube. Just give them a little quick background. This is a new audience. We're grateful for you.
Yeah, man. Y'all can follow me on Twitter. Brice_2K, BRICEY_2K. I guess y'all can keep up with all my Falcons Hawks takes. Also, subscribe to my YouTube. It can just be Brice Lewis is the name. Or I just started a podcast for the Atlanta Hawks, Believe in Hawks Pod. You can look that up as well. If you're a fan of the Hawks as well, subscribe to that. I'm trying to get those out weekly. And I also do weekly Falcons recaps of games, and sometimes previews, depending on how my day job goes as well. And like I said, I appreciate you guys letting me come on, talk some Falcons with y'all. Really was fun, really excited, man. And I love to come back on again if y'all have me on in the future.
Definitely will. Look forward to bringing you back, man. Definitely, without a doubt. Larry, let them know where they can find you, brother.
Hey, man, I appreciate you having me on here. Bleacher Report Tidy. And as always, man, me and my beautiful wife, Shonda, we provide you guys with live, unique commentary of all our favorite sports teams. So the Hawks, the Braves, the Falcons, the Dream, the Dogs, and sometimes our Lizard, too.
The Gators.
Yeah, we're a house about it. So, yeah. But, we always throwing them little jabs. But, seriously, man, you guys can check us out on @ _Dixon_way. And turn down the TV and turn us up. If you're tired of hearing the announcers that really don't know our team talk about our team, just turn them down, turn us up, man. And then we interact with each other during the stream. We take, chats and stuff like that during the stream. So yeah, we doing the thing, man. Just keep on chugging along, trying to grow this community. And yeah. Thank you, man, as always. Love being on the show. Appreciate you allowing me to talk. I talk too much anyway. I'm done.
No, you're fine. And again, I thank you both for joining us. Larry from the Dixon Way, Brice, and I already linked their YouTube channels in the comments. So if you're not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe to these great content creators. We all here to support each other. And it's been fun. Like Brice said,
7:20 today.
7:20 today. Braves.
Yeah, Braves. Yep.
On the Dixon.
Braves versus Phillies at the crib. We got them in Truist. Let's go ahead and knock these dudes out, man. But I don't know if Ronald's back. We got swept by the Marlins. That's a big womp.
Yeah.
But I hope we can turn that around.
Yeah. We need to start back winning again. But it's baseball. It's a long marathon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it's been great, y'all. Once again, I thank y'all, man. Falcons in Detroit on the road this Sunday. So let's come back to Atlanta on Monday.
Let's go.
Being 3-0. Once again, gentlemen, thank you. I appreciate you. And if you ever need me, I'm always here. Y'all have a great night. Thank you, everybody.
Appreciate you, brother.
Peace out.